2024 was the busiest year, I think, in history of table tennis. When we came to the Olympic Games and we had sold out the tickets from the first round, that was when we understood that table tennis just now have a momentum around the world.
We're at the end of the international calendar for table tennis in 2024. So looking back, what are your favorite moments this year?
Well, 2024 was the busiest year, I think, in history of table tennis. It was an Olympic year. We started off with the World Championships already in February in South Korea, and in Busan also was the first time as an organizer. So that was, of course, a big event and also set the tone of the year. Then after that we had the World Cup that came back. Our World Cup was away for some years during the pandemic, and we had a very successful event in Macau in the beautiful Galaxy Arena. And then it just continued like that with big WTT events both here in China and worldwide. So when we came to the Olympic Games and we had sold out the tickets from the first round, both in Olympic Games and Paralympic Games, that was when we understood that table tennis just now have a momentum around the world, not only in China, but also in China, because here we can see for this event ongoing here in Chengdu, the Mixed Team World Cup, 800,000 people are waiting for a ticket. And the spectators are just fantastic, supporting all the teams. And yeah, I'm really proud as well as excited to see what 25 will bring on when 24 is just now about to finish on such a peak, on such an amazing level.
What about the little moments? I mean, during the competitions, is there any exciting bits that you just kept in your memory?
Here, for example, in Chengdu, with the Mixed Team World Cup, when the team is working together, I have seen very emotional moments when the team are supporting each other, and also some leaders from other countries telling me now the team is going together for lunch, they are planning their games together. So this really, it's gender equality in real. And actually here I have had some very emotional moments seeing some matches. Australia in the beginning of the event was a big surprise. We saw Romania breaking through. There was some really emotional moment. But I would say also when USA is taking one set on China, I mean, those moments, unfortunately, he was so happy for this one set, so it was more or less impossible to continue the match. But there are many moments, but here from the Mixed Team World Cup, I mainly bear with me the spirit of collaboration.
During the Paris Olympics, President Bach and you were at the mixed doubles finals. We see with both of you there.
I was really feeling during the Olympic Games when the leadership of the IOC with Thomas Bach and the executive board of ITTF, we were together following the finals of the mixed doubles. I have heard many comments afterwards also from the IOC and the leadership there that they couldn't imagine how exciting table tennis is. We know it's very exciting, and I think that that was a takeaway for many. President Bach, he enjoyed, but he likes table tennis, and I think really that was a very, very good start of the Olympic Games for us.
Like Mr. Dainton said at the pre-event press conference, and I quote, he said, "This year is the biggest and best year that table tennis has ever seen." So I think the spotlight has also come from a rise in international events. So is that part of the plan to strategically professionalize the sport in the international system?
It's actually a very good quote, because we can see that the level of our event, the presentation, and also the way it is received by the spectators. When we started our World Table Tennis company within ITTF, it was also, of course, our aim to increase the level of entertainment within table tennis. And I feel really that 2024 we can see that the result of that strategy.
And we've also seen a rise in the level of the worldwide, especially from the European countries. They were traditionally very good, and now they've come back. So how was it that they've developed so fast, the competitive level in all the different countries, not just Asia?
Here I believe, and as ITTF president, that also our development programs pays off, because we are working very hard in all the continent to support them. And also last year we had, for example, a training camp in Egypt, where the Chinese expertise also came from CTTA to help and support. So how we can also grow our sport and make it more diverse is actually also by teaching and educating each other. For example, in the Tokyo Olympic Games, we had 4 continents in the men's quarterfinals. That was for us something that was kind of a breakthrough, where we can see that our programs is working. Paris was on the same pathway, especially on the men's side, as we know that we had Asia and China on number 1, but then we had Sweden and France on number 2 and 3, and actually on number 4 we had Brazil, which means the continent of Americas. However, we have to do much more on the female side, because there we can see that the gap in between the best ones in Asia, with China on top of course, but also followed by Japan and Korea. We need to do much more in the other continents. We have a few superstars from other continents, but we need to do more. On that, I can still say that some 1 week ago, a little bit more, we had the World Youth Championships in Sweden, where the winner actually on the girls' side was Annette Kaufmann from Germany, and that was the first time. So we can see that maybe in the future there will be also some result on the senior level, but we have to continue to work very hard on the development programs and support each other, because as a sport we need competition.
Talk about gender equality. So the event here in Chengdu, the Mixed Teams World Cup, there are 3 more editions to come here. That's also a driving force in the gender in that aspect, right? So how do you see the young stars like Sun Yingsha and Wang Manyu? They're both big influences on the China's internet. So how do you see them as a role model for the table tennis enthusiasts here?
I see, first of all, as China is a leading nation in table tennis, and you are actually a front runner in gender equality. We can see your female stars here. They are as much appreciated, and sometimes even more, like Sun Yingsha, for example. She's so famous, she's so big, and this is very encouraging for us also to spread that message around the world, to make, let's say, those role models also famous, so that other continents also promote and have role models on the female table tennis side. It's very, very important. And that's why I feel that this Mixed Team World Cup here is another one concrete action, where actually we promote everybody's playing with the same conditions together. And for very many of the female players here to play in front of a full house with spectators, it's both enjoyable and educational.
And it's also part of the legacy that you left behind each event. And in Busan World Championships this year, you have a message there called One Table, One World. And I believe earlier, I think it's your first year as the president of ITTF, when the United States hosted their first World Championships in Houston. Your message there is peace through table tennis, I believe.
Yes, yes.
So I think you're attaching more meaning to the sport.
I really think that table tennis is a good tool actually to change people's life. And to change people's lives. In our ITTF Foundation, we say table tennis for a better life. And just some weeks ago, actually, we hosted a health festival where we had table tennis as a tool for people suffering from Alzheimer and Parkinson. So we know that our sport is a sport you can play everywhere. You can play it for life. So it is very meaningful, and that's also why we try also to use table tennis when there are conflicts, and we have also a long tradition, as ping pong diplomacy was already in 1971. So I strongly believe that table tennis can play a role also in the society.
First ITTF World Esports Table Tennis Championships is held just at the end of November in Helsingborg, Sweden, your home country. So is that showing that ITTF is also stepping into the esports revolution of the sport?
We see that the future is in the digital world, like it or not, but the kids is behind the screen and they are communicating and socializing in the digital world. It's therefore very important as a sport that we are also going where the future generation is. So we believe that by embracing the digital world and add also esports to our agenda in table tennis, we are future ready and to bring in the next generation and hopefully welcome them to play both esport table tennis and table tennis. So we were so excited last week when we ended the first ever ITTF Esports World Championships, and we did it through VR table tennis, and we had players from all around the world competing online each other, and then 8 of them played the finals in Helsingborg. It was really exciting. To be the first time, of course, we will calibrate, we will improve, but I'm very happy so far, and already next year the IOC will have the first IOC eSport Games. It will take place in Saudi Arabia in the 4th quarter. So we are ready, and we hope, of course, to be part of that program, and excited to see what the future brings in.